Destiny Spellcaster lived in her wizard's watchtower with her friendly companions, the dragons. One day, as Destiny was visiting with her dragons on the hillside, she spotted a wolf on the cliff above them. "Wolf! Wolf!" she cried out. Just then, the wolf disappeared.
"There is nothing there,"
said Jabbers.
"There isn't a wolf,"
said Shadow. "He was just there," she told them. As soon as the dragons turned to face Destiny, the wolf appeared again. "There he is!" she shouted. "Wolf! Wolf!" Again, as the dragons turned their gaze towards the cliff, the wolf had disappeared.
"You're seeing things," said Fire. "There is nothing there."
"I promise I saw him," she pleaded. Again the dragons turned to face Destiny, and once again the wolf appeared on the cliff above them. This time, the wolf shot Destiny a devilish grin, as if taunting her. "Wolf! Wolf!" she screamed. Just as before, the wolf disappeared, and the dragons turned to see nothing on the cliff above them.
"Stop this nonsense, you foolish child," scolded Ebony. "We have no time for your games."
"Please believe me," Destiny begged. "I promise I saw a wolf. I promise he was there." Just then, King moved towards her. "I believe you," said the king. "How do I convince the others?" she asked.
"You must find the wolf and bring him here," King advised her.
"How will I find him?" she asked.
"You must trust your instincts," King told her.
"And when I find him," she inquired, "how will I capture him?" The king paused for a moment. He knew that it would take something wild to catch something wild. He also knew that there was nothing wilder than Destiny's heart and imagination. The king leaned in closer and whispered in Destiny's ear, "You must be clever." Destiny tapped her finger against her lower lip and repeated to herself, "Be clever, be clever." With a grateful heart, she looked up at her king and gave him a smile. Destiny then set off on her journey to find the wolf and capture him. Upon arriving in Polaris, Destiny found the good penguins of the land rejoicing in their recent victory. "Hooray! Hurrah!" they gloriously shouted as they danced in the streets, waving their flags about in the air. Up ahead, she spotted a fox diligently writing on a notepad. "I shall ask her for assistance," she thought to herself.
"Poisson, poisson, fromage, poisson,"
the fox said as she wrote each word down on the notepad. Though it had been a while, Destiny managed to come up with a simple hello. "Bonjour," she said to the fox. Yet the fox continued to write her penguin party grocery list. "Poisson, poisson." Destiny couldn't remember what poisson meant, but it must have been very important. Destiny noticed a nearby bridge. "Follow your instincts," she whispered to herself. In the distance, she could make out a group of travelers that appeared to have set up a resting station. Perhaps someone amongst the camp would have information on how to find the wolf. She could not help but notice the queen in all her radiant splendor. "Greetings," said the queen as she waved. "I have come in search of the one called Wolf," Destiny announced. The queen chuckled.
"Infamous tales of the wolf are nothing more than imagination."
"Psst," called a nearby fox. "Maybe I can help you," the fox whispered. "I have been searching for something as well. I stumbled upon some tracks up ahead, but I am unable to leave Her Majesty's side. Go to them quickly before the snow fills them in. Follow this road before you and look for my sister." Destiny paused and looked out at the road before her. She was on the trail of something, but was it the wolf? Under a blanket of tiny multicolored stars rested a sleepy little town. In the distance, the borealis lights danced playfully across the evening sky. The winds had started to pick up, bringing with them a bitter chill. Destiny saw what appeared to be the fox's sister up ahead. Destiny approached the fox and introduced herself. "Hello! I met your sister at the nearby camp, and she told me to look for you. She said that there are tracks in the snow." Yes, there are," the fox replied excitedly. "I won't follow them," she told Destiny, "for they are very large and I'm not sure what animal has made them. If you so dare, you may follow this path upwards. It will lead you to the tracks." At first, Destiny saw nothing, and then there they were, footprints in the snow. A tear began to form in her eye as the hope of finding the wolf seemed close at hand. Up hills and around corners, the tracks led her on a twisted chase. Each step that she took brought her one step closer. She placed her tiny foot next to the huge print in the snow. It was at least 10 times her size. She continued to follow the trail along its winding path until she found herself standing at the mouth of a large cave. "Grrr!" an angry Yeti growled. Destiny's eyes moved upwards, taking in the massive, ferocious Yeti standing before her. "Grrr!" the Yeti continued to growl. "What have I gotten myself into?" she thought. Behind the Yeti was an enormous pile of bones. Destiny was frightened. This was not the wolf. Had she come all this way to meet her end? Her mind reeled, searching for a solution. My wand, she suddenly remembered. Destiny took a stern leap forward and pointed her wand at the Yeti. "Tell me where the wolf is and I won't harm you," she threatened. The Yeti seemed unprepared for this confrontation and muttered between growls, "Arr, go ask my brother at the top of the frozen lake." Arr. Destiny slowly backed away from the Yeti, her wand fixed on her target until she was safely outside. At the top of the frozen lake was the Yeti's brother. "Where is the wolf?" Destiny asked him. The Yeti's eyes shifted back and forth as he answered. "Wolf? Wolf? There are no wolves here." She could tell he was lying. "I know you know where he is," she coaxed. The Yeti looked over at a nearby building. "There are no wolves here, and that building is empty." "Well then," she quipped, "there is no harm in me taking a peek." A soft howl wafted through the air. Panic set in, and Destiny froze. She questioned her ability to capture the wolf. She even questioned whether or not the wolf really existed, or if she was just chasing shadows. A cloud of doubt and confusion began to overcome her. At that moment, the wolf cried out from inside the stone barrier that stood between them. It was as if he were calling to her, beckoning her to move forward. She closed her eyes as she slowly inhaled the cool Polaris air. As she exhaled, she pressed herself into the sound of his cry, and in her mind, she united with him. His heartbeat became hers. His calculating mind became hers. His unbridled hunger became hers. One in spirit with the wolf, she opened her eyes and boldly moved into action. There before her stood the temple guardian. "I have come for the wolf," she declared. The guardian looked down on her and smirked. "3 doors stand before you," he remarked slyly. "2 lead to your doom. The other leads to the wolf. I suggest you choose wisely." Her heart raced as she glanced each door. She could feel the restless wolf pacing in anticipation. Like a magnet, she was drawn to him. Entering the room, she was taken aback by the sight of not 1, But 4 wolves? Was this another of the wolves' deceptive tactics? She knew she must find the Alpha. As he turned the corner, their eyes locked, and with focused intent, she engaged him in a duel. Down fell 3 of the wolves, but the alpha wolf remained. He would not be so easily defeated. Saving her best card for last, Destiny played the lady and cast her spell upon the wolf. Unable to resist her magical charm, the wolf surrendered to her. Once home, Destiny brought out the wolf, and placing him on the cliff, she presented him to her dragons. The dragons stood in awe of the wolf and apologized for not believing her. There was something comforting and familiar about the wolf's presence. Destiny began to wonder if she had truly captured the wolf, or if the wolf had captured her. Destiny's mind began to recall her journey through the spiral. As each memory flashed before her, she suddenly started to realize that the wolf had been with her all along. With each new world and every new boss monster encounter, he was there. Hidden in secret by his clever deception, he was the one who had gently guided her, fiercely protected her, and patiently instructed her. He had been her trusty companion and private counsel. As the whimsical masquerade slowly started to reveal itself, Destiny saw the wolf in all his glory as the true master of disguise. As all of this began to settle in, a revelation struck her. The wolf wore many guises.